Simply a perfect early evening in Southern California. Temperature about 70 degrees, clear skies. Out onto the playing surface at Qualcomm Stadium come the San Diego Chargers before a crowd of 70,000, ready to face the Super Bowl champion Pittsburgh Steelers and quarterback Ben Roethlisberger on Sunday Night Football. Al Michaels with John Madden and Andrea Kramer. Welcome to San Diego. The Chargers come in with a record of 2-1. They knocked off two bottom feeders, Oakland and Tennessee, handily. Then last week had the lead until there were 34 seconds left in the game, but they became conservative in the second half, and thus Baltimore knocked them off behind Steve McNair 16-13. As far as the Steelers are concerned, everybody knows the math. The Super Bowl champions are 1-2 in a division where Cincinnati is 3-1 and Baltimore is 4-0. So Ben Roethlisberger told us last night, we don't feel as if our backs are against the wall, but we can see the wall, and they'll really see the wall if they don't win tonight. John, Steeler fans are very nervous right now coming into this game, a vital game for them. What's the most important thing Pittsburgh has to do to win this game?
You know, I think offensively it goes right to Ben Roethlisberger, and he's been rusty all year. And at some point, he has to knock that rust off. And we talked to him last night, and he was talking about confidence. We talked to the coaches, and they talked about getting off to a good start. And I think that's important, that he gets off to a good start throwing the ball, that he gets a rhythm, and it will really help if that rhythm is part of Hines Ward.
And right now they're going to face the #1 defense coming into this weekend in the NFL in San Diego. As far as the Chargers are concerned, it's become in vogue for some coaches to say, we want a young quarterback to manage the game, and that's what it's become for Philip Rivers, and a lot of people here felt they became too conservative last week, and that cost him the game. He makes his 4th career start. Is it time for Rivers to open up? Will that happen?
Yeah, he has to. I mean, I hate that word manage. I mean, what you have to do as a quarterback in the NFL, you have to play the game, and you have to play the game to win. You have to go out and make plays, especially at the end of the half and the end of the game. You have to be ready to do that, and what teams are doing, you know, because the San Diego Chargers are such a great running team with LaDainian Tomlinson, they gang up in the run, these defenses do, and to get them out of that, you have to throw the ball, you have to throw them out of that defense. And if the Chargers can't do that, or if they don't do that, they're not going to win.
Should be a good one. The crowd is stoked. You can hear them in the background. LaDainian Tomlinson and the Chargers ready to take on Pittsburgh on Sunday night.
You know, it's like a boxer. When you're in a fight, you got to be able to knock the champion out. And so there's no bigger stage to do it on than primetime Sunday Night Football.
You want to know more about German baseball? Just click www.baseball.de.
As you look around this stadium, I mean, it's almost as if you're in Pittsburgh. Somehow, some way, thousands of Steeler fans have gotten tickets, and I mean good tickets. And as I'm standing here, John, I see thousands of terrible towels.
Yeah, it's amazing. I was just talking to some guy out here in the hallway, and he's from Pittsburgh, and they have a volleyball team out here, and they played in some tournament, and then they got tickets, so I know where part of them came from.
So Nate Kading will kick off for the San Diego Chargers. Willie Reed, a rookie out of Florida State who's been inactive, and Santonio Holmes, their #1 draft choice from Ohio State, will run back the kick. And on a perfect Southern California evening, here we go from San Diego. Santonio Holmes from the 1-yard line will set Pittsburgh up at the 25-yard line. Clinton Hart makes the tackle. Let's take a look at the Pittsburgh offense.
Ben Roethlisberger, Miami University.
Willie Parker, Clinton High School.
Dan Kreider, New Hampshire.
Hines Ward, Georgia.
Cedric Wilson, University of Tennessee.
Heath Miller, Virginia.
Marvell Smith, Arizona State.
Alan Faneca, the LSU.
Jeff Hardings, Penn State.
Kendall Simmons, the Auburn Tigers.
Max Starks, Florida.
Their running back, Willie Parker, telling you he's from Clinton High School. He played at North Carolina, but didn't play nearly as much as he liked. So he was a gem. They picked him up as a free agent. He was their #1 guy out of the backfield, and Roethlisberger's first pass is tipped by that San Diego defense, a great front seven.
Yeah, that was the thing we were talking about, is Ben Roethlisberger wanted to get off to a good start, get in the rhythm, and he wanted to throw the ball on a slant here to Hines Ward. But Hines Ward is on his left side. That's where the pressure came from. He didn't have a chance to hit anything. Igor Olshansky jumps up and tips the ball, but that wouldn't have been a completion anyway.
And Marlon McCree forced that issue as he blitzed from his safety spot. He's been a big pickup for them. Here's Parker going nowhere because Kendall Simmons got tied up, and he couldn't get around Simmons. Phillips makes the tackle. Let's take a look at that San Diego D.
Luis Castillo, Northwestern. Jamal Williams, Oklahoma State.
Igor Olshansky, Oregon.
Sean Lightside Merriman, University of Maryland.
Randall Godfrey, Georgia. Donnie Edwards, UCLA.
Sean Phillips, Purdue.
Quentin Jammer, Texas.
Marlon McCree, Kentucky.
Terrence Kill, Texas A&M.
Drayton Florence, Tuskegee.
Sean Lights Out Merriman, number 56. He had his coming out party on a Monday night last year in the battle between these two teams. 3rd down and 13. Roethlisberger out of the shotgun. Pressure is put on, and Roethlisberger gets spun down after a short gain by Sean Phillips. So the pressure was put on Ben. Nowhere to go, and it's 3 and out for the Steelers.
Yeah, we watched Sean Merriman on that play, and he starts off as the outside linebacker on the right, and then you just see him move here, and he's going to rush straight up the middle. So he'll rush from the outside, he'll rush from the middle, he'll start on the outside and come up the middle. He will be all over the place, especially on 3rd down defenses.
Chris Gardocki, 1,127 punts in his 16-year career. No blocks. Still none. Eric Parker to return it. Parker from the 28-yard line brings it back to the 34, and that's where the Chargers will take over. And let's meet that San Diego offense.
Phillip Rivers, NC State.
LaDainian Tomlinson, TCU.
Lorenzo Neal, Fresno State.
Keenan McCardell, UNLV.
Eric Parker, Joliet Township High School.
Antonio Gates, Detroit Central High School.
Marcus McNeil, Auburn. Chris Dillman, Indiana.
Nick Hardwick, Purdue.
Mike Goff, Iowa.
Shane Olivier, The Ohio State University.
You saw Marcus McNeil introduce himself. There's Tomlinson. Very rarely do you see a rookie left tackle, but that's the case with McNeil, number 73, their 2nd-round draft choice from Auburn. And Rivers will go to the air with a little screen to LaDainian Tomlinson, and he gets wrapped up by Casey Hampton after a gain of 3. Here is the Pittsburgh defense.
Aaron Smith, Northern Colorado.
Casey Hampton, Texas.
Brett Kiesel, BYU. Clark Higgins, Colorado State.
James Ferrier, Virginia.
Larry Foote, Detroit Pershing, Doughboys.
Joey Porter, Colorado State University.
Ike Taylor, Swaggin.
Ryan Clark, Louisiana.
Troy Polamalu, Southern California.
Deshae Townsend, Alabama.
Each team playing a base 3-4. Bill Cowher talking about the defenses last night. He says they look just like us. 2nd down and 7 from the 37-yard line. And Rivers fakes the end around, and then Tomlinson gets taken down, and you'll see Polamalu all over the place. The strong safety comes flying into the backfield on the flank, and you can't miss him with that flowing mane.
Well, you know, that's what I was talking about, the way they play the San Diego offense is they play all these guys up around the line of scrimmage. You always have 8 men up there, and of course that 8th man is Troy Polamalu. So I think you have to get away from him. Even if you pass the ball, you have to pass it up the field, not behind the line, because effectively to the defense, that's the same as a run.
Sure, and Rivers may be 2 for 2. That's 100%, but from -4. That play lost 7. Rivers on 3rd and 14. Good protection, and then the pass is wrestled for, and it is intercepted. This is Ryan Clark, who is able to wrest it away, and now the umpire comes in and says, no, he was down at the 46-yard line. Let's see who had possession of the ball. It looked like it was simultaneous possession with Parker and with Ryan Clark. And we'll take a look at the replay here, and I'm sure both coaches will be very interested in what this will tell us here.
You see Ryan Clark is the outside guy, just playing zone.
Does he take it away before Parker is down? And it looked on that replay as if he did.
Oh yeah, I think it's his ball. It's whether he was down there or not is I think the thing they're talking about. This is a Steeler ball.
Bill Vinovich is the referee.
This interception is good. There's no penalty or a late hit. No one knew the runner was down. Pittsburgh ball, first down.
And Marty Schottenheimer wants to have the referee come over and discuss this. But for the moment, Pittsburgh has the football early in the first period.
Ever wished you could be there to see your team in action? With Game On Holidays, you can combine that big match atmosphere with the holiday of a lifetime for the whole family. We offer city breaks and holidays incorporating all U.S. sports, including NASCAR. All you have to do is visit our website and choose the games or races you want to see, and we'll do the rest. Great seats, great games, great value. Game on.
From the 46-yard line after the Ryan Clark interception, Roethlisberger will start with Parker, and he goes nowhere. Jamal Williams tackled after a gain of 1. Now, Roethlisberger, coming off last season, had the motorcycle accident and a lot of surgery to his face and jaw, then had an appendectomy at the beginning of the season, missed a game. But there he is thus far, no touchdowns and 5 interceptions in his 2 starts. They were shut out by Jacksonville, and then against Cincinnati he threw 3 interceptions. 2nd down and 8 at the 44-yard line. He has also, because of the surgery, lost about 20 pounds from his playing weight of last season. He slings it to the outside, and that's off the hands of Hines Ward, who missed all of training camp with a hamstring pull, so he's not 100%.
Yeah, you know, and that's a big thing with the Steelers is Roethlisberger didn't practice. Hines Ward, as we see here, you know, had a bad hamstring, and he didn't practice. And this is a tough game. I mean, you can't practice and come out, or not practice and come out and play the game right. And then you take the fact they don't have Jerome Bettis, who they had last year for short yardage and goal line. They don't have Randall L, who had the trick plays that they like in this area. And this is not the same Steeler offense.
Not at the moment. 3rd down and 8. Veron Haynes is their 3rd down back. He's in the game. They swing him out to the left, and he catches that Roethlisberger pass, but only for a short gain to the 43, tackled by Donnie Edwards. So it starts out as a defensive struggle. We've played about 4 minutes and 10 seconds. Pittsburgh has no total yards, and San Diego is -4.
And I'm surprised that the Steelers, with that field position, didn't take a shot on at least one play. I mean, that's usually what they do when they get good field position in the middle of the field like this. That's the area that you know you should take a shot.
Now,
look at this play.
A fake punt on 4th down. Wasn't even a fake punt as they lined up with Gardocki back there, and that won't work. To the 44-yard line, Bryant McFadden, a defensive back, took the handoff. So they came up in a situation where Gardocki was only a few yards back of the line of scrimmage. That didn't fool anybody, and San Diego is going to get the ball near midfield.
So you all right, Jake?
Well, I don't think Mum's been acting a bit weird.
I wouldn't worry about it, son.
Only Actimel contains the good bacteria L. C. immunitas. Try it and see if you feel the difference. They're none.
You're watching NASN, the North American Sports Network, a new and exciting sports channel dedicated to the best in live North American sports 24/7. On NASN, you can experience over 100 live NFL games this season, plus the playoffs and the Super Bowl live. Watch up to 175 regular season NHL games and live postseason, including the Stanley Cup Finals. Feel the excitement of live Major League Baseball with up to 260 regular season games and exclusive coverage of the World Series. NASN also brings you an exclusive lineup of college sports with live college football and basketball. And with a daily lineup of sports news, talk shows, highlights, and analysis, NASN is your channel for the very best in live North American sports. Visit NASN.com for scheduling news and information.
The Steelers, no strangers to trick plays. They normally do it near midfield. That time, almost a variation of the swinging gate where the ball gets snapped diagonally. We'll show it to you in a second. But it didn't fool the Chargers, who take over at the 44-yard line. First down. Here's a little toss back to Tomlinson, and he gets taken down immediately by Larry Foote. Go back. One of the guys in the formation will be the punter, Chris Gardocki, even though he's not lined up as the punter. Here it is.
Yeah, here's the center. Here's Sean Morey. Now, watch what he does. He's going to snap it right here. It doesn't even go between his legs. He's just going to take the ball, shuffle it out there, start that way, and then bring the reverse back to this side, and it didn't fool the Chargers at all.
Well, they did it with two defensive backs, too. Ryan Clark, 25, and Bryant McFadden, 20.
Right, and I think when you get a center out there as the end man on the line of scrimmage, that kind of alerts the defense. This isn't a punt. We don't have to be in a punt return. We better be in a form of a defense.
Right, the defense had to look at it and say, this is a trick, especially if the punter doesn't line up 14 yards behind the center, 12 to 14 yards. As Tomlinson takes that one, and he's out of bounds at the 49-yard line.
Right, and I always call that the alumni area between the 40s. You know, that's where you always had your trick plays, and that's where the Pittsburgh Steelers always use their trick plays. But so you anticipated in that area, but you anticipated more on first and second down.
Third down and 5 now. Out of the shotgun. Rivers to the outside, and that's broken up by Ike Taylor. Pittsburgh's fine cornerback, Antonio Gates, who is developing into, well, he's clearly one of the best tight ends in the league, and some people think he may now be the best.
Yeah, and they put him out here as a wide receiver and just let him go one-on-one. They think they're going to get a linebacker or a safety out there, but instead they got the corner, Ike Taylor, and Antonio Gates didn't get any separation.
Mike Cyphers to punt. He boomed one 71 yards, career high last week in Baltimore. And he'll spin this one dead at the 15-yard line. So that's where the Pittsburgh Steelers will take over with 8:45 remaining in the first quarter. Marty Schottenheimer now in his 5th season as the Charger coach. No points, not even a first down here in San Diego.
You can't wrap them up against allergies, but you can treat almost every allergic reaction with Piriton.
Call and text your T-Mobile mates more, so you won't miss a thing. One great rate on pay-as-you-go. Mates rates from T-Mobile.
As well as being a thirst-quenching soft drink,
Yes, that's right, Dave.
a Sprite is also a sort of goblin. This Sprite is not so refreshing at a festival. And it definitely hasn't got any taste. Try new Sprite Z. Great Sprite taste, 0 added sugar.
The La Jolla section of Greater San Diego. Beautiful spot right on the coast. And we're about maybe a half-hour drive from there.
You know, one of the all-time great coaches lived in La Jolla, and it wasn't Sid Gilman, it was Paul Brown.
Paul Brown.
Yep, even when he coached the Cincinnati Bengals.
Smart man.
In the offseason.
You can live in La Jolla. You are a smart man. 3-yard gain for Willie Parker up to the 18-yard line, taken by Donnie Edwards.
Yeah, and you're going to see why San Diego is so tough to run against. And it's this guy right here, the 3-man line. It all starts with the nose tackle. And Jamal Williams is one of the best. I mean, look what he does. He just takes the center. Jeff Hardings just straightens him up with both hands, doesn't give him any place to go, puts him in the backfield, and there is no running room. If I were picking a guy and I needed defensive lineman to stop the run, that's the first guy I'd pick, Jamal Williams.
And a great nose tackle on the other side on Hampton. Now Parker gets taken. You know what? People are going to think we rehearsed this.
Did you see this? The first time was just a man block. This is a double team. The right guard's going to come down on him, and he's not only going to beat one, he's going to beat two. He's going to take on two. Did you see that club that he put on the guard? Kendall Simmons came down, and he just clubbed him right there, boom, with his left arm, and he's right there on Willie Parker. That, if you want to be a nose tackle in life, that's the way to play it.
You couldn't have made that commentary sound better on Madden 2007.
Now you're talking.
3rd down and 8 out of the shotgun. Steelers still looking for a first down. Roethlisberger feels the pressure and then fires, and it's caught up at the 29-yard line as Nate Washington comes back to make the catch. So the first down of the game goes to a guy who last year didn't catch a pass in the regular season, caught one in the playoffs, and right now he'd be the number 3 receiver. 13-yard gain.
This is one of the things that Ben Roethlisberger has always done so well, is not run a lot, but just move around in the pocket to buy a little time to get that second level thing. See, and then Nate Washington can come in, run that hook, and start to work back to him as he's moving in the pocket.
Roethlisberger has been very effective. He takes a timeout here, at least over the first 2 years of his career, when he's been jostled, when he's been contacted. He gets away and is able to complete a lot of passes, as he does there. Timeout, Steelers.
Some people think the internet is a good thing. The most powerful educational tool the world has ever known. It's preserving our history, keeping the past alive forever. It's the only place where freedom of speech truly exists. Some people think the internet is a good thing. What do you think?
San Diego, we go to the Rockies. Next week we'll be in Denver. The Oakland Raiders will be there against the Denver Broncos. 3-1 are the Broncos right now, pending their game tomorrow night against Baltimore. Football Night in America coverage starts 7 Eastern and 4 o'clock Pacific. 6:50 remaining. There is the Pacific. Speaking of 4 o'clock Pacific next week, 6:50 remaining after the timeout. Roethlisberger under pressure again, feels the heat, and then throws incomplete, intended for the tight end Heath Miller. It'll be 2nd down. Let's check in with Andrea Kramer. Andrea.
Well, Al, Ben Roethlisberger's arm looked pretty good on a 13-yard completion to Nate Washington, but watching him in warm-ups, he was constantly rubbing his right elbow or forearm area. So I asked his quarterback coach, Mark Whipple, about it. He said nothing's bothering him. It's just one of Ben's idiosyncrasies. And Steelers trainer John Norwood told me he did nothing extra for him pregame, but we'll keep an eye on it throughout the night.
Certainly will. Right now, Roethlisberger 2 out of 5 for 15 yards. And on 2nd down and 10, this time he gets contacted again, slings it out to the right, finds the open man, flag down. Parker makes the catch. For the moment, the gain is out to the 46-yard line. Terrence Keel makes the stop. Flag down at the 43-yard line. Pressure put on that time by Igor Olshansky. Vinovich is the referee.
And Roethlisberger had way too much time in the pocket on that one, didn't he? But the thing is, he still moves around, though, you know, and buys time. I mean, he's always moving and always keeping his eyes upfield. I think that's the important thing when a quarterback.
Defense number 56. Penalties decline. Result of the play. First down.
Sean Merriman.
I was just going to say, when a quarterback starts or ever watches the rush, he's in trouble. I watch Ben. I mean, he's looking downfield the whole time. I mean, bodies are flying around him. Guys are coming, but he's always looking upfield, always looking for a receiver. And then when he finally finds Willie Parker, that's probably his 4th guy.
And his 4th guy was good for a 15-yard gain. Out to the 45 they go. Marvell Smith on the left side, lifted up.
Ball start. Offense number 77. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
That's kind of embarrassing. You know, when you're as big as Marvell Smith and you weigh about 320 pounds, and that 320 pounds starts to move in any direction, there's no stopping.
Interesting. Pittsburgh just 6 penalties in the first 3 games. You have to go back to 1964, and yet a 1-2 record. Beat Miami in the opener, then were shut out by Jacksonville and lost 2 weeks ago to Cincinnati. They come in tonight off their bye week, and Parker for a gain of about 3. Jamal Williams is there for the tackle, and Castillo lost his helmet.
Yeah, we were watching Jamal Williams, and we saw him go man on man, and then we saw him, you know, take 2. Now watch how agile he is as he just runs right down the line, you know, starts there, feels that stretch play, and then comes back. I mean, he's watching the back all the time as he has his hands on that offensive lineman.
2nd down and 13. 5.5 to go in period.
Steelers have 3 wide receivers.
And Roethlisberger is going to gun one down the left sideline, and that says incomplete. And no flag intended for Nate Washington. Antonio Cromartie, their #1 draft choice out of Florida State, seeing a little bit more action now in the last couple of weeks, is there for the coverage.
And he's pretty good. They really like Cromartie. I mean, they think he's going to be the real deal. And you see him running here with Washington. That's a pretty good play. Gets his right arm in there. You know, that's a lot better throw when you watch it in replay than you thought it was live.
Certainly, it didn't look very good. It looked like a floater from here, but he put it in about the only spot that Washington could have caught it. 3rd down and 13 from the 42-yard line. 4-man rush. Roethlisberger moves out to the right. Catch is made by the tight end Miller, who made the biggest play of the game against Miami in that opener on a Thursday night in September. But Pittsburgh is short of the first down. Steelers right now have gained 39 total yards. The Chargers 1.
Yeah, we talked about one lineman for the Chargers, and here's another one, Sean Merriman. What they do is they're going to chip. They're going to help the left tackle, Marvell Smith. They're going to help him on the outside. So Merriman, when he feels that, he just spins and goes to the inside.
Chris Gardocki played his college football at Clemson in the 80s. 16th year, the left footer sends one up into the early evening sky that bounces at the 6 and can't be saved. So Rivers will start the next San Diego drive at the 20-yard line. 4 minutes, 25 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Steelers nothing, Chargers nothing.
It's no fun when you can't sleep. Time seems to stand still. You just can't switch off. And it feels like you're the only one. But you don't have to put up with it. Nitol can help you drift off into a natural sleep. So you wake up refreshed in the morning. Good mornings follow a good Nitol.
Nurofen, fast, targeted relief for pain.
Freedom for backs. New heat patches from Nurofen.
NAS.
Tomorrow night, it's Heroes on NBC, an extraordinary new show. Their abilities are getting stronger, and you can catch a new episode of Heroes. That's tomorrow night at 9 Eastern and Pacific and 8 Central, right here on NBC. Michael Turner, who's the backup to Tomlinson, but plays a lot, is in the game, and that pass is caught by Keenan McCardell, who's been nursing a sore hamstring for a gain of 4. Phillip Rivers, it was interesting. He was involved in that whole Eli Manning situation. San Diego had the #1 pick in the 2004 draft. The Manning family made it very well known, hey, look, if you pick him, he's not going to sign there. They picked him anyway. Then, within the hour, San Diego had to effect a trade with the Giants, where Eli went to the Giants. Rivers was picked by the Giants and was sent here, and San Diego got some draft picks as well. And that's how Rivers wound up from North Carolina State coming here, as he gets hit that time by Joey Porter, number 55, and you'll see that a lot. Joey Porter getting a free run at a quarterback.
Yeah, I'm not sure how you can play the Pittsburgh Steelers and not block Joey Porter. He's right here, and you have to know that he's a pass rusher. So the tackle comes down, the back comes to the inside, and Joey Porter comes free on the outside. Now what happened, they also had the inside linebackers blitzing, so everyone went for the inside guys, and they left Joey Porter come free.
3rd down and 6 now. Rivers only the 3rd man to ever quarterback in the NFL out of North Carolina State. Roman Gabriel and Eric Kramer are the others, and pressured that time from the outside by Tyrone Carter, the defensive back. So the Charger fans all wanted Rivers to throw more. He's been throwing more tonight, but right now he is 4 out of 7 for 5 yards and just got sacked again.
You know, they really put you in a bind here. I mean, here's Joey Porter. Then they have 2 defensive backs coming on that side. So I'm saying you have to block Joey Porter. Okay, then they have a defensive back blitzing outside Joey Porter. So you pick up that. Then they have another defensive back blitzing from the outside. That Dick LeBeau is something.
Mike Cyphers to kick. Willie Reed will see his first NFL action from the 29-yard line. And their number 3 draft choice out of Florida State. He's a receiver, but mainly a run-back specialist. And he was phenomenal for Bobby Bowden out to the 39-yard line. For Ben Roethlisberger, he was great in the playoffs last year, but in the Super Bowl, he was anything but great, but they still won the game. And he ran for a touchdown, and he did what he had to do, but his rating was 22.6. Then at Jacksonville, his first start of this season, you can see the 38 rating. Against Cincinnati, a 30 rating. Of course, he didn't play in the Miami opener because he had an appendicitis attack and an appendectomy in the week before. So Ben, coming off the Super Bowl, coming off the motorcycle accident, coming off the appendectomy, coming off 2 very subpar games, still looking to get it together here. 1st and 10 from the 39-yard line. Cedric Wilson sees his first action of the night. This is going to be Najee Davenport, the ex-Green Bay Packer, who's been inactive, who sees his first action. So with Roethlisberger, you've been watching him, of course, on tape, John, and all of that. What if, I mean, you can't go through the motorcycle accident and the appendectomy and all he's been through and not be affected by it to some degree.
No, and he's not the same guy. And, you know, he hasn't gotten into that flow. He hasn't gotten into the rhythm. And, you know, I think he has to play a little wilder, if that's a thing. You know, I mean, he used to, you know, take the ball and run for a first down. He has to do those kinds of things to get a feel, to get back in the game a little more.
Slings a side armor to Davenport, and Najee Davenport gets inside the 30 to the 29-yard line, where he's tackled by Keel. So let go by Green Bay. He gets a block from Kendall Simmons and a 32-yard gain, the biggest play of the night thus far.
You know, and they've been looking for a guy to replace Jerome Bettis, and Najee Davenport may be that guy. I'm not saying that he's a Jerome Bettis, but, you know, that big guy that